Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Project Ozone. So, since last episode, I've been very busy. I've been working on our base on Jupiter. I will say I had a teleporter connected up in the standard fashion, right over here, and I actually had to disconnect it because for some reason, whenever I would come through after setting this up, whenever I would come through a teleporter into the overworld, it would crash. I don't know if it has to do with maybe too many mechanism teleporters or what it is. But then whenever I would spawn back, it would just send me back over to Jupiter. So I'd have to teleport to Mars, crash, reload, and then come through. So I took that down. So far, I haven't had any crashes coming back to the overworld. But I've only came back like one time. So fingers crossed that fixes it. And also on a side note, when I was getting into the build for Jupiter, I was doing some thinking, and I think we're eventually going to change out a lot of the design of this building, because if you recall, when we started back here, and I was like, okay, well, you know, this was the theme of it. But then, as we got farther back, it was like, oh yeah, we got Z-tones, and then it was just like, it's like a weird change throughout the base. So I am going to totally revamp this interior a lot once I have time. Right now, I'm spending the majority of time working on space bases and stuff, and then this roof section. So, which the roof, I'm happy with the roof. I like the roof a lot. But I'm spending the majority of the time building on the space bases and stuff. So it'll just be once I get time to kind of sit down and get into the overworld a bit more before I do that. So it won't be, I can't say for sure how major of a change it'll be, but there will be some changes to interior decorative stuff. Also, it came to my attention on here, when I was looking through here, I'm not for sure if it was due to the recent update with extra planets. I didn't notice these before. I've seen them on the wiki and stuff in the past, but I didn't notice them before in this pack. But for example, like if we go to Jupiter, it now has 4 moons around it. And we can visit all of these, it looks like. They're all tier 4s. There are a couple moons that actually you can't visit. Like for example, if we go to Pluto, its moons don't have a tier at the moment. So as it stands, that's like another additional, like, let's see, it's 2 for Mars, 4 for Jupiter, 3 for Saturn, 2 for Uranus, 1 for Neptune. And then Pluto and Eris, I don't believe you can access their moons. Let me double check on Eris. No, you can't access their moons. So that adds like 12 additional planets on top of what we originally had. And then of course over here we have Kepler 22. That's the tier 10. Oh no, I don't want the actual star. I want the planet here. But yeah, Kepler 22b, that's our tier 10. So we'd have like, what was it, 11 additional planets. So this teleportation room is not big enough by any stretch of the imagination for this design. But my intention is actually to use Pluto as a hub, like a teleportation hub, once we reach Pluto and actually build it out and everything. So anyways, with that said, let's head on over to Jupiter actually. I've decided to build it out of cobblestone because we have a lot of cobblestone and we don't actually use it for, you know, much as far as building or anything like that goes. So I decided to build it all out of cobble. But naturally, I'm joking. I'm totally joking about that. So anyways, this is our base on Jupiter. So far, it's far from being done. If we step in here, this is what I've done so far. It's a lot of 10 decoration blocks. Basically right here you can get the idea for the color palette. It's a lot of these color of essence lamps, these essence blocks, marble, some 10 decoration blocks, and then a little bit of these essence square bricks 3.0, and then a bit of the use of the magma that's actually in this area. So I wanted to use that somehow, and yeah, so I went with that. There's our teleporter. This is basically like the entry hub. So this isn't the full exterior. You know, I haven't really done any exterior work. It's really only been interior work. But then over here we have our quantum link chamber, and I've already set this up with singularities. We have a ton of singularities, by the way. Like a couple stacks of them. I actually need to empty out the singularity generation. And then right here we have some terminals so that we can access our stuff and do interfaces, patterns, and fluid access. Because I feel like all of that's going to be fairly useful to have access to on this base. Eventually we're going to have AE connections to, well, maybe all the planets. I don't know. That's a lot of channels. A lot of dense lines going through, but we'll see. Because we have like 20 something planets to go to, so I've got to figure out exactly what I want to build on everything. I think long term the overworld's going to be more of like a hub type place where we hang out. All the planets will have like the majority of our stuff, you know, spread across all the planets, because I'm going for the whole like space empire type thing. But anyways, let's head into the big part. And like I said, it's not done by any stretch of the imagination. But here we go. This is our reactor, kind of like the core of our base. So we will have other reactors. You know, we'll do probably draconic evolution reactors. We'll do mechanism reactors, especially mechanism reactors. But the big reactors are so large and take up a lot of room, and so this is going to be the core of our base. It's going to be big reactors, one big reactor in the center, and then 6 turbines around the outside. So I'm fairly happy with it. This part, I mean, this isn't all done. I've got like a walkway set up here so we can kind of cross. We'll probably have a walkway that comes around and connects to this side as well. Also, these windows, there's actually going to be rooms here, because of course we're going to have other types of power generation. So we're going to have rooms here where you can walk up and you can kind of overlook the core of the base. So, and this is actually weatherproof glass. I actually like the way this looks. Plus we have those supercharged creepers, so I was like, I'll make a bunch of this because it's very, very cheap since we have wither farms up and going. So that's what it looks like from the outside thus far. So far, I'm fairly happy with it. It actually did not take that long to do. I actually was playing around in my creative world, figuring out kind of like the color palettes and stuff that I wanted to use for this build and for this design. And I actually kind of came up with the color palettes in about 20 minutes. And then kind of just started building. I knew kind of the general idea of the size of the reactor. Now, this is all the center here. I actually planned originally for a 9x9 reactor, probably 9x9x9, but then I decided after playing around the reactor builder, because I know I've got 6 turbines here, and so what I did was I created a reactor, and it's actually a 7x7x7, and it's going to generate enough steam for us to run 6 turbines off of it, and if I wanted to change the control rod insertion, then we could actually do 12 turbines. So I thought, you know, I might, if I really want to go crazy with big reactors, which I probably will end up doing, I might do another 6 turbines below this and have like this part kind of cut out with walkways and have like a deep like chasm below the reactor with, you know, 6 additional turbines. So, you know, I might. Honestly, I will say I didn't worry too much about efficiency because we have 332,000 yellorium and we're generating it super fast, so I'm really not concerned so much with efficiency, though I will say this reactor design is fairly efficient. It only consumes, for the first 6 turbines, it's only going to be consuming like 0.2 millibuckets per tick, you know, so it's going to be pretty efficient. Anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and start getting into big reactors. I think I've shown you, by the way, over here there's just doors that don't actually lead anywhere yet, but because there's going to be 3 main exits on this floor from the core, aside from the entrance direction. So 4, you know, and then there'll be different floors and stuff. And I will say, just as a heads up, this glass isn't set in stone. I haven't set up the room, so I don't know where I want doorways and where I want like pillars and stuff like that. So this glass is more temporary than anything, and it kind of keeps the slimes from jumping through, because those slimes actually jump really high, and they were getting in here. I actually have a torch, magnum torch, underneath the floor because mobs could spawn through here. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to turn down the weather just a bit, because it's like mega lightning in here. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at our quest book. So we have this section here, and we're probably going to be knocking through this, hopefully all of it today. We'll see kind of where we get to by the end of the episode. That lightning just does not seem to quiet down all that much, but I think that's good. That's a bit more bearable. Because we're going to be here pretty much the entire episode, so I didn't want it to get on you guys' nerves too much. Okay, so they want us to get a stack of yellorium, a reactor controller, an access port, a power tap, a fuel rod, a control rod, and 22 casings. Okay. That is not a problem. I tell you what, I'm actually going to automate a lot of this stuff as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get like 20 patterns. So reactor casing is just like that. I am going to need to teach it how to make graphite. Not a problem. That's just coal. Okay, I actually don't have any graphite, so I'm just going to set this up. There we go. Just so I can finish up the recipe here. Okay, there we go. And we'll go ahead and throw this into the... It should be, I think, okay, it's ultimate furnace. There we go. And then let's go ahead and set up a recipe here for the reactor casings. And I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and order like 2,000 graphite just to get that going. And we'll go ahead and grab a reactor casing. And then I'm also going to want to go ahead and automate reactor glass, I think. Using fused quartz, that's fine. Yellorium fuel rods. These require uranium rods from custom things. Okay, that's just uranium, palladium, lead. I'm not for sure how much lead I have, though. I mean, not lead, but palladium. Go ahead and put that stuff into there. By the way, the lightning actually comes through that glass. That's one downside to having glass ceiling, but it can't be helped because I want glass ceilings. So, we just have to deal with it, I guess. Okay, we've got our first uranium rod, and then I'm going to want to teach it how to make fuel rods, the yellorium fuel rods. And... oh yeah, I'm going to have to manually craft all this stuff, aren't I? Okay, that's fine. Let me grab one of those. Tell you what, go ahead and order like 10 more of those. And then I'm also going to want to get reactor casings. And I'm just going to manually craft like a stack of those. Also, the reactor controller. This takes demon steel of the 3rd magnitude. Okay. And I'm not going to automate this because really we're not going to need any more of these. Let me order 4 of those. And while we're waiting, let's go ahead and get our reactor access port. Going to need a chest. Okay, so the reactor access port... I'm going to go ahead and automate that, and then we'll just grab one of these. Reactor, we are going to need coolant ports, so I'm going to go ahead and automate those as well. We don't need them for the craft right now. That's for once we get into turbines. Okay, the reactor controller, we should be able to make that now. No? May still be making demon steel up. Also the reactor control rod, let's go ahead and automate that. And I'm going to grab one maybe. We're not missing anything. Okay, there we go. And what about the reactor controller? There we go. And we should be just about done with this quest. I'm not for sure what else is left at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and throw these into there. Oh, reactor power tap. Okay, that's something that we're actually not even going to use. So I'm not even going to bother with it. I am going to craft it up though. And that quest is now done. We'll go ahead and take our reward bag. It is a good one. And we got anti-builder blocks and anti-builders. Okay. I'll just throw that into there. Also the reactor power tap. Don't need that. Okay. And next up, they want us to make cyanite. 64 stacks of cyanite. Reactor coolant port. Okay. That I do want. So we'll go ahead and craft one of those. And we got another good bag with an artifact in it. Awesome. Jump boost equals mana essence. Okay, now in this pack, can I make cyanite any other way? Like the cyanite reprocessor or yellorium and sand? No, I cannot. Oh man, that actually shoots my plan down a little bit. Okay, so we are going to need a stack of cyanite. I imagine that looks like the cyanite reprocessor. Yes. That's for making blutonium. Oh, man, okay. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to build a very inefficient reactor design to start with. I'm not going to throw in my jelly cryothium. I've got a drum here filled with jelly cryothium, using, blizz powder to make cryothium dust, and then throwing it into a magma crucible. Let's see. Get my wand out here. And we'll go ahead and just build this out. Basically, the intended design. It should be a 7x7 interior. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. It's a 9x9, but it's 7x7 interior. And then what we'll do is we'll come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And basically just as a heads up, if I say like a 7x7x7 reactor, it's a 9x9x9 technically, but it's just interior counts. And basically all I want to do is I want to burn up a whole bunch of this yellorium to get cyanide. We're going to have to burn up like a stack of it as quickly as we can. So let's get a bit of this reactor glass. Does this not know how to make fused quartz? Did I not teach you how to make that? I don't know that I did. No, I didn't. Because we had all that fused quartz before. Like, piles of it, honestly. And I never even bothered with it. Okay, so there you go. And I actually need to encode this 4 times. 4 more times. Okay. Now we should be all set. Let's go ahead and order like a couple hundred reactor glass. Get that running. And I'm going to go ahead and switch out my oxygen tank as well. I've been steadily crafting additional ones of these because until we get our oxygen set up on each planet, which I've noticed even like the moon and stuff that had working oxygen setups, they've all stopped working. Oh, you know what I just realized? I don't want this here, in fact. Let me clean this up real quick. Oh no! Whoops. Okay. I actually want this built into the floor. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm being like super derpy today. So, I don't even know what's going on here. Okay, let's try this once more. Okay, there we go, and we've got a bit of this reactor glass so far. Let's go ahead and grab that. And I think for the most part, this is going to be like a lot of glass on this reactor, I think. I mean, realistically, actually, no, not that much. Tell you what, let me get a bit of cobble here. Because I have to kind of readjust my original plan since I made a smaller reactor than I originally planned to. This is all a bit smaller. So, basically this is just going to come into here instead. Actually, I think I might leave it like the design as is. I'm just going to pull all this cobblestone off of right up around the reactor. I will shift some of these back. I'll show you in just a second. But the reactor is actually not going to have as much glass as I was originally thinking, because we're going to have the turbines like right up on it, I think. Well, actually, we could see through the turbines. So yeah, we'll probably still do glass on this reactor. But basically the main ones that I want to shift backwards are these on, like right here. So basically we're going to shift these turbines back when I want them like basically butted up against the reactor. Because I can't remember, I don't believe you can have a reactor right on top of a reactor like touching. I don't think. Because it'll try to rate it and it'll mess it up. And think the size is different than it actually is and all of that, so. Okay, so we'll have something like this instead. So these both have a space between, these are butted right up against the reactor. It works out well. And then I can transfer, I'll probably use mechanism to transfer the fluids back and forth. For these four. Because these ones won't really have to have any kind of fluid conduit. But anyways, now that that's in place, let's go ahead and put down the glass. I think I'm going to do it all glass right now, and then we'll change it out for our access ports, you know, wherever we need those and whatnot once we get to that. So, let's go ahead and just do this. And this is all going to be glass, so I'm just going to leave these sides as all glass too. It's going to be a very glassed-in reactor. Alright. Which really is just going to provide like a backdrop of cryothium more than anything. Because that's, I mean, in the past with more efficient designs, I use resonant ender as well. But honestly, like I said, I mean, I've got tons of yellorium. The reactor that I designed fits my needs perfectly. Like, perfectly. And so I'm going to go with that myself. I'm not going to say it's the most efficient reactor design, but it's not bad. It's actually very good on yellorium, so. Alright. Because honestly, the difference between resonant ender and cryothium is so minute that really doesn't matter. So. Alright. I'm going to need a little bit more of this reactor glass. Not a lot, though. It actually creates this reactor glass at a fairly decent rate. Having those 5 alloy smelters each processing, you know. Okay. Okay, so there we go. That's the size of the reactor that we're going to build. That's not all the pieces, that's just the core. Now we're going to want to get ourselves 13 reactor control rods. I've already made one, so let's order 12 of these. There we go. And then I'm also going to want 91 yellorium fuel rods. So, do we have enough palladium? That is the question of the day. No, I'm missing 123 pieces of palladium. Awesome. Alright, go ahead and make me like 29 of these, I guess. There you go. Okay, it's given us 20 so far. And then let's go ahead and break off this. Oh, I forgot this reactor glass takes like a couple days to mine it up. Alright, a couple days later. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to wait to break off stuff. Alright, so our reactor control rods, we're going to go ahead and set these in. And I may end up, or no, I don't know if I'm happy with this or not. Yeah, that's not too bad. I might do reactor casings decoratively. I'm not for sure. Not for sure just yet. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop down in here and we'll start attaching our yellorium fuel rods to this. And I'm just going to bring them straight down. Like that. There's 10 more of them that I'm going to need. I'm still going to need a bunch more of these. I got like 30, I think, total. And I need, what, 90? Something? I need a bunch of them. Yeah, we're not even close. Okay, so I'm going to need a few hundred palladium. Where was that at? I cannot remember. Jupiter. Oh, that works out. Okay. So let me go get just a little bit of this. Nope. And I'll be back in just a moment here. Okay, so I apologize. I totally derped. I thought I was recording, and I wasn't. So, just a couple quick updates. We completed this. I was going to make an energy trash can, so I went ahead and made fluid and energy, so we turned in those 2 quests. Of course, the rewards were junk. It was like a falling belt and an amulet of growth. I totally thought I hit record after the crash, and it didn't. And then I finished putting the Yellorium fuel rods there. So we've got this fully built out. The rods go all the way down, of course. And then underneath here, like the controllers right here. And if we take a look down here, basically all I did was I ran Fluix, not Fluix, but dense cable down. And then I connected an export bus right here, exporting Yellorium. With our reactor access port. This one's set to inlet mode. Then another reactor access port here set to outlet mode. And it's pumping out cyanite. And there's an import bus right there. And right now I'm letting all the energy get trashed. I didn't actually use the energy trash can. For some reason I made it and then I was like, oh yeah, I don't actually need that because it's just going to waste the energy at this point. So it's actually, this is terrible. It's just wasting Yellorium, but the reason being is I'm trying to produce a bunch of cyanite. We're already up to 62, and that's actually very, very quick. It takes about 10 seconds right now to produce cyanite. So there's a stack of that. Right now, if you take a look, the all the fuel rods, I've left them at 0 insertion, and I'm just letting it. It has no coolant in there. It's just burning that stuff up right now. But we did just get our stack of cyanite, so we'll get our chance cube for that. And then they want us to make a cyanite reprocessor. This requires demon steel of the 4th magnitude, and I was actually just looking through the turbine stuff. We're going to need a bunch of 6 steel demon steel as well, so this stuff is not cheap. I've got a 7th magnitude. Let's go ahead and order our 4th magnitude. Yeah, see, I've already gotten 14 cyanite just since that. The cyanite reprocessor, yeah, basically we're just waiting on that demon steel at the moment. This stuff does take a little bit to craft, so. Okay, so there's our 4th magnitude demon steel. We'll get our cyanite reprocessor. There we go, quest complete. Then we'll go ahead and turn that in. And I'm letting that go ahead and keep wasting Yellorium for a minute, because we're actually going to need a lot of cyanite for this. So, oh, chunk loader and spot loader. I happen to have just made those. Because I was going to head to the overworld and let the cyanite build up, but then I realized I hadn't even been recording, and I do apologize. I hate when that happens. I'll tell you what, I'm actually going to pull this up. For right now, I'm just going to put the cyanite reprocessor like right here, just so that we can access it. So for our, let's see, the next quest should be blutonium. Okay, they're wanting us to get 64 of that. Okay, so let me grab like a stack of the cyanite. We will throw it into here. And then we're going to need some kind of, let's see, can I get like a sink? Yeah, one of these is fine. And then some kind of conduits. Pressurized will work. This is a very temporary placement, by the way. We'll automate this later on. Oh yeah, this one won't pump out, will it? There we go, and you can extract always active. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to actually configure this. I think it's like left side. I'll tell you what, I can make infinite water. Actually, if I was to put the sink like right here, no, it still doesn't. Okay. That's fine. I forgot. For some reason, I was thinking I was on Craft of the Titans at first. course, Craft of the Titans doesn't have the infinite water blocks. And so I was thinking, well, I'll use a sink, because that's what I use for water on Thayer, you know, to pump out water and stuff. And I get my packs mixed up sometimes. I apologize. Okay, so there's our infinite water. Set that down right there. There we go. Now our cyanite reprocessor is running. Now this is going to take a while to reprocess a stack of this into plutonium. It's going to take quite a while. There we go. A little bit of plutonium. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and start working on some of the components for the next quest. There's also this ludicrite. Yeah, that's where most of our plutonium is going to go. Actually, I'll probably need more than this, I think. More than a stack. That's okay, though. That's why I've got... I'm letting that cyanite get created. We got 83 now. So, let's take a look here. There's a few things that we're going to need. First up, turbine housings. Crafted just like this. Let's grab that. How many of these do I actually need for the quest? 49, and then 29 glass. Okay, so I'm going to grab, like, a stack of these. I can't have too many at this point, honestly. And then... turbine glass. No, I actually want the fused quartz recipe. Let me go ahead and order like 1,000 fused quartz. And there we go, there's turbine glass. I'm going to go ahead and throw this into here. Oh, it's actually 2 cyanite per plutonium too, by the way. So that's only going to make a half stack of that. So, I mean, we're going to need a ton of cyanite, so that's why I'm just letting that run. Alright, so let's take a look here. We've got the turbine housings. Now, let me get... I'll let that run for fused quartz for a bit. Let me get turbine glass. There's a stack of that. Okay, it's kind of both of those. Awesome. Alright, so now turbine rotor blades and turbine rotor shafts. Now these do require cyanite as well. Steel and cyanite. So fun stuff. I'm going to go ahead and automate those, because that's another thing that we're actually going to need a lot of. Especially by the time we build out all of these turbines, we're going to need a ton of this stuff. And let me go ahead and put this stuff into the molecular assembler. And the turbine rotor shaft, no, I actually want to craft it, my bad. Manually to make sure that it counts for the quest. Let's get, let's start with like 10 shafts. And then the blades, we're going to go ahead, we're going to need 80 of these for a single turbine. So I'm going to go ahead and make about 2 stacks of these, because we're going to use it. It's not really a concern. And then next up, they want us to get turbine fluid ports, turbine rotor bearings. And I'm actually going to automate all of this stuff as I go for the turbines, because we are going to use additional ones of these. So let me get a few more of those. And we'll go ahead and craft 1 rotor bearing for right now. The fluid port... what do I need? Piston. Okay, there's the fluid port. I'm going to go ahead and craft one of those. And now we just need the controller and the power port. Now we're about to start getting into the expensive stuff. So, turbine power port. This one's not expensive. I'm going to need more patterns. We just automate all the things today. And I'll go ahead and craft one of those. And now the turbine controller. This thing is expensive. It requires 2 plutonium, reactor controller, and 2 demon steels of the 6th magnitude. So actually, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and automate. Ugh. We're getting into expensive things. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to start farming essence. I mean, we're getting a whole lot from our, you know, the stuff that we have creating essence and getting essence, but it's not enough. It's just, it's not enough. We need so much of this stuff. And let me go ahead and throw this into here, into the molecular assembler. Oops. And let's get some more plutonium being made. Okay, there's how you make the reactor controller. Once we get our stack of plutonium, we should be all set, I think. Okay, reactor controller. Let's go ahead and order one of those. And then I want to go ahead and automate the turbine controller. We're going to need turbine housings. Those go right there. And then we're going to need demon steel of the 6th magnitude. Ugh. Okay, so give me one of these. And how much essence do we have? 993. That's actually not that bad. So we'll be able to make our first turbine anyways. Actually, I'll tell you what. I think these can actually be broken down. No, they can't. I lied. And plutonium production still chugging along. Let me get a bit more of that cyanite. There you go. Want to keep this stuff processing as best we can. God, it's crafting so much demon steel of the 1st magnitude. Ridiculous. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and start actually setting up our turbine a little bit. So I'm going to want, can I order like 40 of these? I'm sure I can. Yeah. Alright. And we'll go plot out where we're going to have the turbines at. And I think for right now, we're going to start with one like right here. So let's go ahead. We'll build these into the floor. There we go. Okay. And now I just have to pull up these blocks and then I can access the floor. Alright. And I think this first one, like, this may change. Like, the bottoms may become glass if I end up building into the floor. I'm not for sure if I will or not. That's just something, like, long-term, that's a thought. But short-term, not yet. You know. So, let's go ahead and just build out the floor and just turbine housings for the time being. And let me order some more of those. Out of curiosity, how much cyanide do we have? 20. Okay. So give me like 40 more turbine housings. Okay. Just like that. And then we'll want to do the frame in these as well. So give me like 40 more. And we'll just kind of start building out the frame like that. And let's see. Is that blutonium done so I can finish out that quest by chance? I still need more though. And let's check on our demon steel. That's still crafting. It's almost done though. It's just working through the last bit of that 1st magnitude demon steel. Alright, and our turbine rotor bearing. I'm actually going to want this in the bottom center. Like right here. I was kind of giving it some thought. I didn't know if I wanted my coils on the top or the bottom. I think I'm going to have the coils on the top and the energy transfer on the top. That way, if you're down here and you're walking through, you see all the turbines spinning instead of just seeing a bunch of coils. I think that's what I want to do. I think so. Okay. And we're going to go for max size turbines, by the way. Just as a heads up. Okay, our plutonium is done. And now this quest is completed. We'll go ahead. Take that. Oh, my inventory's terrible. It's all that cobblestone is what it is. Okay. And we got a greater reward bag. We got, railgun turret, ammo, ferromagnetic slugs, and turret base tier 5. Actually kind of nice because we're actually going to get into turrets very, very soon because basically on my space bases, especially like this one, I want this one to feel like, you know, you come in here and everything's okay, but to go through here, there's going to be turrets on the walls. Granted, they're not really going to serve a whole lot of practical purpose, but I want turrets up there and, Basically just for decorative looks, like it's like a high security area. That's what I'm trying to think of. Is kind of my plan. Okay, now we just need the turbine controller for that quest. The ludicrite, they want us to make 4 ludicrite. We're actually going to need, let me think, 32 ludicrite. So, that's fine. Let me actually set this up. Oh wait, I'm waiting for that demon steel, aren't I? Is it still not done with the 6th magnitude demon steel? No, it's almost done. Okay, well that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and set up the ludicrite recipe, and basically we're going to use this recipe right here. Because realistically, Indium is not really an issue. I don't think there's any way to just like... No. Okay, I didn't think there's any way for us to easily get like ludicrite ingots, so... I am going to have to set up a quick recipe for Indium. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, I'm going to have to actually go smelt up a bunch of Indium and make a bunch of blocks. Not really that much, I guess. I need basically a stack of blocks. Okay, let me, I'll tell you what. I'm about to have that demon steel done. Yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and set up a recipe here for the turbine controller so that we have that automated. And I'm going to want to order 1 more demon steel of the 6th magnitude so that can go ahead and start running, because it is going to take it a bit of time. And let me see, I've got enough rotor blades, I think. I'm going to need basically 80 rotor blades, because like I said, we're going for a maximum efficiency turbine, which is 32 ludicrite, 80 rotor blades. That's generally what I go for if I can afford it. And we can indeed. I'm going to go ahead and throw those in there because we don't need them at the moment. So let's go ahead and set up our actual rotors. And we'll just run our rotor shafts up. And then we're going to attach our rotor blades. And I'm going to do like 3 long on each of these. So just like this, I'll tell you what, I've got a wand. So we just got to put down 44 more. Okay. And I'm going to break off this one because I want to make sure these are like equal. So just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll have the ludicrite up here, and it's going to be 4 high. So I'm going to need 3 more shafts. So let me go ahead and order those. There we go. And that's how big the turbine's going to be. And I think that's what I want. I don't know, I might switch it. Because we're not going to actually start this thing up today, because we're going to have to get energy transfer in place, and there's something that I want to do for that. Which will involve us going a little bit farther into space, I do believe. Just a little bit farther. Not very far. So we'll go ahead and run that across. And can I get some more turbine... turbine housings? Give me like 40 more of these for right now. Because I'd like to get at least like the general shape done right now of this turbine. So we kind of have like an idea. And what's nice is this actually comes up like right to the same level as the walkways. Huh. I actually did not anticipate that. That is just... I knew it was going to be about the same height as the walkway, but I didn't know exactly how high. It actually works out very, very well. Okay. So that's like the general idea of the shape. And then what I'll probably do is I'll have like turbine housings right here. I'll do like a line. Oops. Okay. So we'll have something like that. I could do... Let's see. I don't know if I want like another layer here. Because that would actually work out perfectly. It would be like 3, 3, 3. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Just so that one at the top doesn't look so awkward. So they kind of look like, what is it, struts? Kind of supporting this. gosh, I wish it would quit doing that. That is not the same block. Quit acting like it is. Okay, so we'll just get 40 more because these are going to have to be used to make the glass anyway, so it's not really a loss at all to do that. So basically we'd have it just like this, and then we're also going to have to set up access ports and controllers and stuff like that, but we'll do that in just a moment. And then what we can do is we can put in our glass. Go ahead and build this up a little bit. And I think once this room is all done and there's like turbines all over the place, I think it's going to look pretty good. Pretty good. So something like that. And then on the front here, I'm actually going to put the turbine. Let me get some turbine housings. Oh yeah, I don't have the controller yet. Duh. Okay. And I'm going to grab like another stack of this cyanite and get it reprocessing. I mean, honestly, I could stop the reactor if I wanted to. Because we have enough cyanite now to finish this, I believe. Actually, we have enough plutonium already, so I wouldn't even have to reprocess that cyanide if I didn't want to. But I'm going to keep that running for now because I don't just want one turbine. You know, I'm going to want multiple turbines. So this is just the first part of it. And let me go ahead and order like another 200 turbine glass. It's going to pretty much annihilate the rest of the cyanide that we have. And let me head on back to the overworld. Now this is probably going to crash, just a forewarning. It's been doing that. Oh, hey! It did not crash. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Alright, so I'll tell you what, we're going to set up just a really quick little system here to get some Indium cooking up, to make blocks. Basically is what I want. Let's go ahead down here. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do here. Let me set this into here. I'm just going to set up like a casting basin. Put that right there. And then I'm going to do just pressurized fluid conduits right here. We're going to say that you can extract always active. This was actually our old setup that we used for, was it plates or something? I can't remember. It's been a while. And I'm going to want, actually I'm going to need a stack of Indium blocks. So let me get like 9 stacks of Indium. This is going to take a little while actually. What quest did I have for Indium? Okay, it's just a miss pop. Oh yeah, this is going to take a while. I wish there was the solid, or not the solid fuel boiler. I don't know what I was thinking there. The Tinker IO thing. The like quick burning thing where you use like solid fuel, you know, like speeds it up. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. It's a 1.10 add-on for Tinker's constructs. Actually watching this for a second, I think we're producing about as much Yellorium as what we're using. Actually it looks like maybe a little bit more, give or take. Yeah, it looks like a little bit more than what we're using right now. And that's just wasting Yellorium. Wait till we actually have our setup up and going. Okay, that is done. Let me throw in a bit more of these blocks, of these ingots. Okay, we got our first 8 Indium blocks, so let's go ahead and make the ludicrite for that quest. And I'm going to go ahead and set up a recipe for this as well, just because we can. So let's teach you ludicrite is crafted just like this. And we'll go ahead and encode that, and then give me, let me throw all this plutonium into there. Give me 4 of these. And there we go, that quest is done. We'll take our reward bag, an epic reward bag, and we get 2 diamond apples. Okay. Okay, our Indium is done. We have 56 blocks, and I've left this running basically while I was editing footage is what I was doing. And we are up to 750 cyanite, 751. And in addition, I've had this crafting up demon steel, 6 magnitude. So we got 4 pieces now, and I believe, okay, I didn't start the next one. Let me go ahead and start the next. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. We're gonna leave that alone for now. Oh Oh yeah, it's going to need... because I was thinking I would set up at least like one other turbine, right? The turbine controller, that's 2/6 magnitude, and then 4/3 magnitude. I should be able to request 4/3 magnitudes. So I'll go ahead and get those going. And I'll go ahead and get another turbine set up between this episode and next. But let's go ahead and get our ludicrite. And I'm just going to manually craft it. It's not really that big of a deal. There we go. I'm missing... Oh, it's 4 pieces of blutonium. No! Okay, let me warp over to Jupiter. And let me get a bit more of this cyanite. I figure I'm going to leave that running until we get like a couple thousand cyanite. Because between the episodes, it's not... Okay, that's going to help. In fact... Ludicrite, how much can I get now? Okay, we're up to 25, and then I'm aiming for 32, so we're getting fairly close to that. Okay, let's go ahead. Let me grab that turbine glass that we've got. We've got like a stack. Okay. And I finished out that section. I know these middle sections aren't going to have any kind of fluid access or anything like that, so I'll go ahead and put these right here. And actually this top section's not going to have any either, so I'll go ahead and build this out. Some of the stuff we'll finish this up next episode, but like I said, I want to actually go into space next episode, just briefly. Basically, we're just going to make a run to Neptune, so between episodes, I'm probably going to go ahead and craft up the next tier of rocket. I don't figure you guys care to see me craft another rocket. Honestly, I think we've done that a few times. The turbine fluid port, I'm going to go ahead and place this, even though we're not going to have it like actually all plugged up. Let me go over the top here. The turbine fluid port, we are going to put this just... we're actually going to want 2 of these, because they're going to need one pumping in, one pumping out. Why can I not... There we go. Turbine, fluid port, let's get that. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have... I think we'll have one right here and one right here. Okay? And then we'll set... one of these has to be changed over to an output. One's an input. I think blue is... No, blue is water and red is steam, I think. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. Because I feel like... I've been using extreme reactors so much lately for the the 1.10 version. And I know a lot of things were changed. I can't remember if that's changed, and I've completely forgot big reactors. If that's still the case. But I believe this one is input steam, that one's output water, I think. Oh, actually, you know what? I can look right here. Yeah, this one is input. The arrows are pointing in, arrows are pointing out. That's output. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. Yeah, we're going to need a bunch more reactor glass, but let's go ahead and set up our ludicrite. And what we're going to do is we're just going to basically make a coil. It's going to be 8 blocks, and we're just going to situate it just like this. There we go. And now we just need 7 more pieces of that. I doubt this is... we can make 5 more ludicrite. Give me 5 pieces of that. There we go. Alright. So we're really just waiting on like 4 more pieces of plutonium to finish out the coils. Or no, I'm sorry, 8 more pieces of plutonium. And then our turbine power port, we're just going to go ahead and set this up, I think, right here would be fine. That's where power is going to come in and out of this. And then this, if I recall, this has to be a turbine housing. And then I think what we're going to do is we're just going to have, like, basically build this out like that. And then we'll do, you know, glass in those segments there. And I think that'll look good. Okay, we got our plutonium now. And then I'm going to need a couple more stacks for the second turbine. I think we'll start with 2, and then as I get... And it's basically going to be waiting on the demon steel, honestly, to build out all 6 of these turbines. Possibly 12 turbines if I go and build some on the bottom as well. I don't know for sure. We'll see. Alright, so we're done on ludicrite, and... Oh yeah, you know what? We can actually craft our turbine controller now. Almost forgot about that. So, turbine controller. Oh yeah, I'm going to need 2 plutonium for that. There we go. Turbine controller. Haha. And that should be that final big reactors, big turbines quest done, which it is. So we'll take our reward bag. It is a legendary reward bag. Fingers crossed that we get something awesome out of this. 8 slime balls, 5 dead leaves, 8 gelatinous slime, and 6 living roots. Awesome. These reward bags are just such trash sometimes. Okay. Like, I got really excited. Like, I don't even know that we've ever gotten a legendary before. I know we've gotten epics, but I don't even recall getting a legendary, and then we get dead leaves and slime balls out of it. And the turbine controller, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put this like right here, and then we're just going to do turbine housings like that. Okay. And that way we can access this. And then the rest of this, I think the only thing we're missing is turbine glass. And this will be done. Which it's steadily working through. I think it's like stuck. Or something. I have no clue. Yeah, see, this is like stuck for some reason. I'm going to have to go figure out what's going on with that. But really, that's all we need now is turbine glass. And this will be done. And then I can build the other one. I'm going to go ahead and set up this one between the episodes. And then we can do these. And basically, the reason I stopped doing the dark iron bars, these are, you know, of course, they're kind of like a railing. But right here is going to be a turbine that comes up. But since these are actually level, I'll probably just have the railings on the turbine, basically. Like around, I don't know. We'll see. I'm just thinking. I actually kind of wish they were a little bit taller, honestly. But that's okay. That's fine. Because I could, you know, if they were a little bit taller, I could do the turbine controls here. But I really don't. I could do a taller one. Because basically I could just increase the distance between the ludicrite blocks and the blades. And just have that empty space there. But I don't know if I really want to. Or if I'm happy with its height. Because it actually works out well for the glass, so. But anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point, so I am going to end out this episode here. Next episode, the plan is, whenever we come back, I mean, this is pretty well done. Like I said, I'm going to let this run, try to get a few thousand cyanite, so we have cyanite ready to go for our turbines, our additional turbines whenever we're ready to make those. Like I said, we're still going to be waiting on the demon steel. That's actually pretty expensive stuff. But I'll go ahead and get a little bit of that cyanite built up. I don't know if there's really any use for plutonium outside of this stuff. And I'm actually curious about that. Plutonium ingots. They're used to make that. That's one of the neutronium things. I can't think of what it is. Turbine controller, ludicrite. That's the main things that I see here. I don't know, is ludicrite actually used for anything? Yeah, what is that, creative something? I don't know. Can't ever tell with these. I think it's a magneticraft thing. Creative something. Oh, and you gotta use it for that. Okay. Yeah, it's a neutronium, which we're gonna be getting into this stuff very soon. Neutronium collector. Okay. Okay. But once this is set to the efficient mode, it is going to still produce plutonium or cyanide. It's just not going to be nearly as quick. Okay. But for now, I'm just going to leave this running like this until we change it over for the steam. Because there's really no reason to turn it off, because I did look, and we are coming out positive. Like, just completely positive on Yellorium. Basically, I'm judging it by the EMC value. It was at like 690 million before. Now it's at 702 million. So, I mean, we've jumped up on Yellorium. 342,928 stored now. I can't remember what it was before, but so there's really no downside to letting it run, because it's not like I have anything else to use Yellorium on right now. So, and I'll probably set up a deep storage for cyanite, just so that we've got it. But like I said, we're not going to be producing that much, because this thing is actually going to run through Yellorium very, very slowly. Like, very, very slowly. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Between this episode and next, I am going to continue working on this building, kind of building it out and stuff. I may actually start on our prison somewhat on Uranus, but we'll see. Next episode, whenever we come back, we're going to quickly head into space and it's basically just running to Neptune is all we're going to do. We're going to pop on over to Neptune. We'll probably go ahead and do the dungeon while we're there. Might as well. We're going to set up the miner and have it mining up blue gems. And then we're going to get into a little bit of Draconic Evolution, because since we're working on power, I'd rather go ahead and get my actual energy transfer set up, like my legitimate one. That's going to be Draconic Evolution. So that's why I want to go ahead and get that done. Get into that, you know. And then after that, we'll pick back up with this. We will change this over to the actual steam production and plug these both up and get this running. You know, the steam production going, the turbines running, RF being produced. And these are going to generate a lot of power. Like, our power problems are going to be long gone once these are done. Even just 2 turbines, especially once we have 6 turbines going, will be set. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. I did not mean to hit screenshot. I meant to hit F1. But until next time, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys next time.